welcome to First Pages. As you can see, change of scenery. This is one of my many bookcases in my office. I thought it would kind of add to the whole theme of First Pages. So today I have for you a kind of a dark retelling of a beloved fairy tale. It is by Nicole Zoltak and it's called Of Cinder and Madness. The stories about her have been greatly exaggerated. Yes, she is beautiful with wavy blonde hair, big blue eyes, and flawless skin, but her charming facade is a lie, a mask, a deceit. Yes, I'm sure you think me merely jealous. I'm not. I'm the victim, and I can prove it. You see, Eleonore deserves to be locked away. She even deserves to be killed. But wait, I apologize. I'm getting rather ahead of myself. It seems like only yesterday I married for a second time. While my first husband, Olivier, had been a kind and good man, I had not given him my heart. I had married him because my mother insisted I do so. My father had died, and we needed to be supported. All in all, I will always remain forever grateful that I did not balk at my mother's request. Olivier gave me two of the most precious gifts in the world, my daughters Marguerite and Madeleine. Without them, I would have been lost once he died, and now that Jacques is gone too. Jacques, Eleonore, his daughter by his first wife, Gabrielle. By all means, Gabrielle sounds like she had been a perfectly lovely and delightful lady. How the two of them gave birth to such a monster I cannot begin to fathom. She is nothing like her father, and from what Jacques told me, she is nothing like her mother either. Oh, Jacques, I loved him desperately despite myself. I still love him despite his dying after 3 years of pure bliss. Back then, Eleonore had been different. Back then, she had been more human. I'm on my way up the stairs to the tower. She enjoys it up there for some reason. I think it's to spy on us. She certainly watches my movements all the time. Watching for what, I am not certain, and I do not know if I wish to learn her reasoning. Reason, that is a quality she lacks. In some ways, I wonder if she remains a child yet. She is only 16 after all. Then again, some ladies are married off at 14 or even 12. The circular stairs wind ever upward, and my soft shoes feel every crumbled bit. The way is worn over the years, and one of the stairs is broken in half completely. Huge chunks of the stone are missing as well. A small arched window allows a measure of light to pour through, glowing the dark stone a bluish hue. From here I can spy Eleanor's wicked tree growing out of her mother's grave. If I could tear it down, I shudder. The memory of the blast, of that shrill death cry. Our Grummet attempted to chop it down. The tree itself attacked him in a most terrifying way. I was within the chateau at the time. The huge glow of obnoxious orange-green light from the window blinded me. When the light faded, Kaplan was gone. His body had vanished, but the echo of his cries remained and haunted me for weeks after. The tree itself is actually rather lovely to gaze upon. Still, I turn my gaze away to the second gravestone, which belongs to Jacques. So strong and true and kind and good. Handsome, too, yes, a jewel among men. But it was his eyes that captured my own at our first meeting. His eyes, a beautiful sparkling blue, shining ever so brightly on our glorious wedding day. There could not have been a single cloud that day, for the sun lent us her full golden face. I feel because I do not know for certain. I could not look away from my groom. The scent of wildflowers and lilacs flitters to me on a soft breeze through the window. I inhale deeply, closing my eyes, reminded all the more of our wedding day. Our girls, all 3 of them, wore the same style dresses, although in different colors. My Marguerite was in purple, like the flowers us women all carried. My Madeleine was in green, like the beautiful greenery of the spring around us. His Eleonore in red like blood. Their trumpet-sleeve dresses were worn over a farthingale. False undersleeves matched the forepart. All of them looked so lovely. At the time, I could not have been happier about the union of our families into one. My own dress was tight-waisted with a high-necked white chemise with various shades of blue. My slashed and puffed sleeves completed the look. My long dark hair was not in the heart-shaped style I normally wore. For once I wore it loose around my shoulders and down my back. The jeweled wreath of orange blossoms complemented my green eyes, or so Jacques told me the moment our hands joined before the minister. We were married without much fuss. Jacques Chaput Baron of Chapoux, had been a step below my first husband, Olivier Delacroix, Vicomte of Ville. I had not cared about either title. My mother had hoped for a higher than Olivier for me, but I had not caught another's eye. Jacques' mother had been a lovely lady. Unfortunately, she died shortly before we wed. As my parents are also deceased, we only had each other, ourselves, our daughters, and the minister present. We had no need for a huge celebration. Why, we had the rest of our lives to live together and celebrate. Oh, how little we knew, how short our time had been. But that day had been glorious, without a worry or a care. None of the fright I've been living with ever since Jacques died, ever since Eleonore. I saw subtle signs over the years, but I never truly knew what she was capable of. I'm not even certain if I fully understand now. For perhaps the first time ever, I do not feel like weeping as I think about my beloved. Perhaps it is because I am thinking mostly about our wedding and our happiness. Normally I can only focus on my grief and on my guilt. Yes, yes, think of happy days, forget the lonely nights, remember, and he will never truly be gone. Another breeze blows by, the floral scent bringing a now rare smile to my thin lips. A glorious spring day we had wed, much like today, actually. Yes, the first day of May in 1092 had been the most wonderful day in my life. Truly, that entire year had been the most blessed. For this past year, since Jacques had passed, however, the kingdom had turned dark over our small corner. Fantasia seems to be caught in troubled times, but no, I will deal with this. Eleonore is my stepdaughter. She is my charge. I will deal with her accordingly. Her actions have been terrible, and so she has forced my hand to be equally as terrible in return. Moving faster now, but not running, I ascend the rest of the stairs. Eleonore stands at the window, her back to me, hands clasped, ringing. Her accursed devil birds flitter about so frantically, their dark feathers fall about her, almost giving her a cloak or shield. For a moment I stand there, transfixed by the spectacle, the things she can do, her terrible wrath. I think some might stem from grief, but there's more to it. There must be. Guilt, perhaps? Could it be that she... No, she would never. Then again, she had tried to poison her stepsisters and me. Oh, wicked, horrid girl. I've tried to help her. The sun knows I've tried. I am at my wit's end. If I cannot change her for the better, then I can shield her away from the world. I can shield her away from my family and myself. My hand slips into the pocket of my long satin dress. The coldness of the key sends a shiver down my spine, and I gasp slightly. That sound is enough. Her birds react to my presence, and she turns to face me. Our eyes lock. Her blue orbs look nothing like her father's, so hard, so unfeeling, so cold. The air rushes out of me as the world seems to stop. She's waiting for me to speak, to yell at her, to punish her. Yes, she must realize that what she has done is horrible, despicable. She must realize that the punishment is her doing, her fault. But I can't help hesitating. Am I certain there is nothing else I can do if there is anything I should have done? Is it possible that the blame does not rest on her shoulders but mine? My indecision creates a bubble. The birds hover in midair, awaiting their dark princess's command. Yes, she is not dark in appearance, fair on all accounts, but her heart is far darker than anyone realizes. If I had to venture a guess, far darker than even I suspect. No, I must be firm in my resolve. Now is not the time to allow grief and despair to color my actions. She must be held accountable for her own actions. It is not my hand forcing this upon her, but her own hand. Shoving aside my doubt, cloaking myself in my fear, I remove the key from my pocket. At once her eyes flash with understanding, a flicker of an emotion, fear of her own, or maybe acceptance. Then her birds swoop toward me as one massive swarm. I barely have time to close the door and lock it before they slam against it. Thud, thud, thud. A minute passes, and then another, and I lean against the heavy locked door with my eyes closed. It's done. She's barred. She's too far up. Her birds never leave her side for long, and only one at a time at that. We'll be fine now. We'll be safe. I hope. I pray. I fear. That is the beginning of Cinder and Madness by Nicole Zoltak. If you would like to read more, please click the buy links in the description. If you like First Pages, please subscribe so you know when I post new videos. Thanks for your support of authors. I hope you like the new backdrop. And as always, happy reading.